Let me tell you something that my father told me. Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars.
Really?
Yes. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you. And so will I.
In this reality, there is no roar from Pride Rock, no great king called Mufasa, no circle of life, no Simba. What if that moment never happened? Remember that scene? Golden sunrise over the Pride Lands, every animal from antelope to elephant gathering in awe, Rafiki's sacred ritual, and then BAM! Baby Simba lifted high, like the savanna's messiah. Yeah. What if Mufasa, the absolute legend of a lion who everyone loved and Scar absolutely hated, never became king in the first place? Would Scar take the crown by default? Would Simba even be born? Would the Pride Lands still thrive? Or crumble into chaos faster than you can say, Hakuna Matata? This is what would have happened if Mufasa never became king. Okay, let's rewind. Before Simba, before Scar went full Disney villain, back when Mufasa and Scar were just two young lion brothers with very different vibes. Now, in the real Lion King story, Mufasa was basically destined to be king. He was brave, wise, majestic, basically lion royalty before he even had the crown. But in this alternate version, that doesn't happen. Something shifts. So what could have possibly happened? Let's say Scar outsmarts his way to the throne. Maybe he's still called Taka at this point, and maybe he manages to charm the Lion Council, twist a few facts, whisper a few lies. He paints Mufasa as too emotional, too impulsive, not fit for the pressure. Meanwhile, Scar, book-smart, smooth-talking Scar, positions himself as the wise and strategic choice. Scar's coronation will look like this. The sun is rising over Pride Rock, the animals are gathering for the announcement of the new king, and instead of Mufasa standing proud with that majestic mane and deep, booming voice, it's Scar. Thin, slick, brooding Scar. And he's already giving side-eye to the zebras. We already know from the original movie that Scar was power-hungry, bitter, and felt massively overlooked. Imagine giving him the throne before he even had a reason to be mad. He'd rule with pride, but not in a good way. More like, I'm king now, everyone shut up and do what I say. Without Mufasa there to check him, Scar would have leaned into his worst instincts from day one.
Life's not fair. You see, I will never be king. You shall never see the light of another day.
He probably would have kicked off his reign by rewriting the rules. No more, we respect the balance of the circle of life. Nah, Scar would have been like, let's party with the hyenas, and if you don't like it, well, tough. The royal guard? Gone. The traditions? Burned. The morning report? Yeah, Zazu wouldn't even survive the first week. And instead of leading with strength and compassion, Scar would have ruled with paranoia and fear. He'd be that king who doesn't trust anyone, keeps his circle small, and starts every day wondering if someone's out to take his crown. And he'd give himself a dramatic title. Something like Scar the Supreme, or the one true king of the Pride Lands and beyond. Like he's got something to prove every second of the day. Which, let's be honest, he does. But that's not all. Simba might not have been born, or would have been very different. We all know Simba was the heir, the chosen one, the future king with the cutest roar ever. But in a world where Mufasa never becomes king, would Simba even exist? Let's be honest, probably not. Without Mufasa, there's no Mufasa plus Sarabi. That iconic royal romance? Gone. The scene where Rafiki lifts baby Simba to the sky and all the animals cheer? Never happens. Maybe there's still a Sarabi out there, But if Scar's king, he's probably not prioritizing love and family. He's more into ruling solo, brooding in his cave, maybe giving weird monologues to his own reflection. Now, maybe Scar has cubs. Maybe. But can you imagine a prince of the Pride Lands, raised by Scar and a pack of hyenas? That cub's not going to be playing tag with Nala. He's going to be plotting takeovers before he even grows his first mane. And even if somehow Simba was born in this alternate world, he'd be raised under Scar's rule, not Mufasa's. No wisdom, no everything the light touches is our kingdom. No life lessons about responsibility or the circle of life. Just a whole lot of don't trust anyone and step on whoever you need to. Basically, we'd get a very different Simba, more like Scar Jr. than the Simba we know and love. And instead of running away to find himself, he might run away to take something for himself. That's a scary thought. So, yeah, no Mufasa? No Simba. Or at least, not our Simba. And without him, who's going to save the Pride Lands when everything falls apart? But it gets worse. Remember the hyenas. Shenzi, Bonsai, Ed, and probably a whole squad of others we never met. In the movie, they're kept just outside the kingdom in the elephant graveyard, where Scar sneaks off to meet them in secret. Why? Because Mufasa would never let those guys run wild in the Pride Lands. But if Mufasa's not king, oh boy, the gates are wide open.
Yet out of the ashes of this tragedy, we shall rise to greet the dawning of a new era, in which lion and hyena come together in a great and glorious future.
Scar has always had this weird, creepy bromance with the hyenas. He sees them not just as allies, but as tools. Muscle he can manipulate to keep himself in power. So the moment he takes the throne, you know he's rolling out the red carpet for them. We're talking hyenas lounging on Pride Rock, raiding the hunting parties, scaring off the zebras at the watering hole. No balance, no respect, just chaos. It's like throwing a house party for animals that don't believe in personal space, and then never telling them to leave. And remember, hyenas eat a lot. Without rules, they overhunt, overtake territory, and throw everything out of whack. The antelope vanish. The herds move on. The Pride Lands go from golden savanna to dry, cracked wasteland. Even the lionesses would be powerless to stop it. Scar's too paranoid to trust them, and the hyenas have the numbers. It's like the whole kingdom gets hijacked, and nobody's left who actually cares about, keeping it alive. So instead of the circle of life, it becomes the circle of hyenas eating everything in sight. Not exactly the majestic legacy Mufasa left behind. And let's be honest, Zazu definitely gets eaten in this version. Makes you wonder, would Rafiki even exist? Rafiki, the OG spiritual guide, part wizard, part philosopher, full-time vibe. That guy lives in a tree, paints with fruit, and somehow knows everything before anyone else does. He's basically the Pride Lands Yoda, but sassier. Now imagine him trying to work under Scar. Yeah, that wouldn't last long. Rafiki is all about tradition. He protects the old ways, the sacred rituals, and most importantly, the circle of life. He's not just there to crack coconuts on lion heads, he's the one who blesses royal births, keeps the family tree, literally, and helps future kings find their way. But Scar hates tradition. He doesn't want some wise old mandrill reminding him of what's right. He wants control. No weird tree painting, no cryptic advice, no ghostly visions of past kings telling him what to do. So Rafiki, he'd be out of there immediately. I'm talking. The moment Scar starts throwing shade at ancestral wisdom, Rafiki disappears into the baobab mist, shaking his staff and muttering, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." And just like that, the Pride Lands lose their spiritual compass. No, remember who you are. no guidance for future rulers, no cute little lion drawings in fruit juice. And this matters a lot. Without Rafiki, there's no connection between the past and the present. No one to carry on the wisdom of generations. Scar may not care, but the kingdom needs that link to stay grounded. So without Mufasa to respect and protect that role, Rafiki vanishes, and takes a big piece of the Pride Land's soul with him. And honestly, I can totally see him chilling in some far-off jungle, sipping on fermented mango juice, painting spirals, and waiting for the day someone worthy finally comes back. But that's not all. The circle of life would have turned into the cycle of disaster. Let's face it, Mufasa was the embodiment of the circle of life. He didn't just talk about it, he lived it. Every decision he made kept that balance alive. Without him, the whole system would have collapsed. Scar wouldn't care about balance. He'd rule for himself, not the kingdom. That means fewer animals, more famine, and a whole lot of gloom. Imagine Pride Rock not as a symbol of hope, but just a crumbling cliff of despair. Simba's epic sunrise? Yeah, probably replaced by dark clouds and buzzards circling. So yeah, no Mufasa. No thriving Pride Lands, no Simba, no Hakuna Matata, just Scar ruling from the shadows while the kingdom falls apart. It's wild to think about, but also makes you appreciate just how important Mufasa was. His roar didn't just echo, it meant something. So, what do you think would have happened if Mufasa never became king? Drop your wild takes in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more deep dives into the Lion King universe.